Let's get back to the breaking news from Washington this hour. Multiple outlets reporting that Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer plans to retire. Breyer is a liberal-leaning justice on this conservative majority court, and his retirement will allow President Biden his first high court pick of his administration. Let's get right to Newsy political correspondent Stephanie Liebergen live in Washington. Stephanie, this is pretty big news. Can you talk about the significance?
Absolutely, Jay. So this is something that progressives especially have actually been asking for and have been kind of lobbying Justice Breyer, pushing him to retire, hoping that he would retire, he would leave the court underneath the Democratic president so that he could be replaced with a new Democratic justice. Now, Breyer is the oldest member of the court currently at 83 years old. He's been serving on the court for about 28 years almost. So when he retires, that'll leave conservative Justice Clarence Thomas as the oldest on the court. He is a decade younger than Breyer. So Breyer's retirement, something that a lot of people have been talking about, people have been pushing him to do, and now that is, publicly we have, confirmed information by the Associated Press that Breyer does plan to retire, it seems, at the end of this term. So we will still get his opinions throughout the next few months or so while the Supreme Court works down their current term that ends in the end of June, Jay.
Yeah, and there's a lot on the docket. Obviously, one of the biggest hot button issues is abortion and how, Roe v. Wade, what the future of that holds. With Breyer, though, with his retirement, should this be the case, it wouldn't change the makeup of the court, though, particularly.
Absolutely. So with, Breyer being one of the more liberal justices, being underneath the Democratic president, presumably President Biden will continue to appoint a more liberal justice. Now, Biden has promised that the first opportunity that he would get to appoint a Supreme Court justice, he would appoint a black woman to sit on the court, which would be a first. So, now that we have word of Breyer's retirement, all eyes are going to turn over to the White House as they presumably go through their vetting process to decide who it is that they want to nominate and appoint to the Supreme Court. Now, as long as Democrats continue to have the majority, even though it's a very slim majority right now in the Senate, as long as Democrats continue to have their majority in the Senate, President Biden's nominee likely to get confirmed, whoever it is the president ultimately settles on.
Yeah, and one way or another, as our colleague Alex Miller noted on Twitter, this is going to be a confirmation battle at a very at just ahead of midterms and could become one of those issues to campaign on. Stephanie Liebergen, thanks for following this for us in Washington.